Yes, we are live now.
Hare Krishna. Good evening to all of you. Warm welcome to our session number 25, Systematic Study of Gita. We are going to start a new chapter today, Jnana-Karma-Sanyasa Yoga, Chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge. We are in the new year. We are with a new chapter. So I thought I must share Happy New Year greetings with all of you. So Happy New Year to all of you.
Happy New Year, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Happy New Year, Prabhuji.
Happy New Year to all. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. And let's see what Srila Prabhupada had to say on New Year.
Is there an audio also for this, or we are not able to hear the audio?
Can you hear?
No, there is no audio. I'm not able to hear the audio.
I'll share computer sound.
Chant for that few hours.
Yes.
But the Hare Krishna mantra we can chant perpetually. So unless there is new
Can you hear now?
enlightenment, how we can do that?
Yes.
Okay. So Srila Prabhupada says our every day is a new year. So with that backdrop, let's kick off.
Well,
The agenda for the day is we'll be covering verses 1 to 7 today with key learnings. Quiz, 5 minutes, and then audience reflections. I request all of you to take part in this. It's not that you have to speak for a long time, even 15 seconds, 30 seconds. Just say, what is that one thing that you could take home after this session? That's important. And then Q&A. I apologize for a delayed start because we had some technical issues, but hopefully we will catch up on the way. I start the session today by offering my humble obeisances to my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, and my Shiksha Guru, His Grace Gaur Vilas Prabhuji. With their blessings, I will speak a few words to help us immerse ourselves and discover Gita wisdom. Goloka Express is checking along very well. We are now in chapter 4, where we are going to understand what is transcendental knowledge. This chapter is called Transcendental Knowledge because this is coming from Krishna himself. Krishna introduces about himself. How does he come into this world? When does he come into this world? Why does he come into this world? What is the parampara of Gita? Everything is in this first 7 verses. It is also called Jnana-Karma-Sanyasa Yoga. As appropriate, this chapter has an acronym called YEARS because it's only through careful shravana, careful listening, can we understand the essence of Gita. So E stands for eternal education. We are going to study that. A is accurate understanding. R is remove reactions. S is sacrifice. You can attain jnana through sacrifice, that is yajna. So let's go through eternal education to start with. The first lesson for us. So here, what do we learn? We learn that knowledge that we have precedes human history. When I show you the timelines, it is mind-boggling. You just can't imagine that our cosmic timelines are so vast, infinite. Dharma, religion, is cosmic and timeless. Krishna says this. He says it is avyayam. Krishna teaches and establishes dharma. That's the purpose of him coming into this world. What are the 7 verses that we are going to look at today teach us? The first 2 verses teaches us the rich parampara. Krishna has spoken Gita to Arjuna. That's what we are all listening. Krishna also tells us something more. When did Gita or when he spoke Gita for the first time? We'll come to know that also in the next slides. In verses 3, he says, I am telling you this, Arjuna, because you are my friend, Bhakta, and Saka. So that's the most important qualification. We'll spend enough time to understand how we can be like Arjuna. Then Arjuna, very politely, very humbly, humility personified, asks Arjuna, Krishna a question. Very interesting question. All of us should be also having this question. How did this happen? Let's see what is that going forward. In 4.5, Krishna tells Arjuna, well, I am spiritual. I am transcendental. My position, he starts explaining, this is transcendental knowledge. It is not affected by my birth. What is the uniqueness of Krishna's appearance? We will see that going forward. And when does Krishna appear in this world? We will see that also going forward. So with this brief synopsis, let's look at what is the connection between chapter 3 and chapter 4. We studied in the last class that lust causes bondage. We also studied the places where the lust resides. It's all internal, it's within us. You have them in the five senses, you have them in the mind, and you have them in the intelligence. So we studied this in the last class, or the last few classes where we went through chapter 3. We also studied Krishna telling Arjuna that one has to curb the lust by deliberate spiritual intelligence. It's not easy, it's not impossible either. He then told us, do your duty depending on me. One single line. That's the purpose of Gita. If you know how to depend on Krishna, that's Krishna consciousness. That's the purpose of Gita. Now, in chapter 4, it's an evolution. Krishna says, how do you gain that spiritual intelligence? I will tell you the transcendental knowledge. And what will this transcendental knowledge help us? It will help us to understand Krishna as the Supreme Lord. Many of us read Gita. There are many versions of Gita, but the essence of learning is lost if you do not understand Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Using this transcendental knowledge, it becomes quite easy for us to overcome lust. So that's how we should understand. We end chapter 3 and move to chapter 4. Let's look at the first verse of the day. Very important verse, very interesting. Mind-boggling statistics will be presented in the course of this first verse. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivaswan Manave Praha Manur Ikshvakave Bhavit. What is the translation? Krishna says, I instructed Aham Proktavan, this imperishable science of yoga, Imam Avyayam Yogam, to whom sun god Vivaswan. Vivasvate, that's what it says in the verse. So Vivasvate means Vivaswan. And Vivaswan instructed it to Manu. Vivaswan Manave Praha, father of mankind. And Manu, in turn, instructed it to Ikshvaku, his son. Manu Ikshvakave Abravit. Let's understand what is Krishna telling Arjuna. Let me put this in this view. Okay. Krishna starts telling us this knowledge is eternal. He's speaking Gita to Arjuna, but he is starting with this verse. He says, Imam Vivasvate Yogam. This yoga, which I am teaching you now, I have already taught this previously. And he says, I have spoken this to this sun god Vivaswan, who is my devotee. So what Krishna is saying, he says, I have illuminated the illuminator of the world with this knowledge for the very first time. He is the first ever person in this world, in this universe, to have received this knowledge. The sun can light up the entire outer world. The entire external world is full of his sunlight. But Krishna's knowledge is even more powerful than sunlight because it lights up the inner world. There is no sunlight that can reach within us except for Gita, transcendental knowledge of Krishna. This Knowledge helps us understand Dharma. What is our sense of purpose? Why are we here? What is our role? This entire understanding can come to us only with the help of the transcendental knowledge given to us by Krishna in the form of Gita. So the sun is the first student of Krishna. Then Krishna describes to us how he has set up system of transmission where knowledge flows from generations to generations over millions of years without any dilution, without any destruction. What does it show? Dharma is cosmic and timeless. Says Proktavan Aham Avyayam. What is Proktavan Aham Avyayam? This knowledge is eternal. This Gita is the essence of Vedas, and Vedas have no creation nor destruction. It is always fresh. That is the reason why he says this knowledge is avyayam. It is permanent. Vivaswan manave praha. So Vivaswan is the sun god, and I told this knowledge to him the first time ever, and that was only 120,400,000 years ago. Just allow this figure to sink in. This is not easy. When I first read, it took me quite some time to understand. My goodness, this number seems to be so big beyond our imagination. Now, what is sun? What is the importance of sun? Sun represents the eye of the Lord, and he orbits in his with full obedience to Krishna and lightens up the entire world. Then he says, here Manu Ikshvakave Abraved. So Vivaswan passed this knowledge to Vaivasvata Manu, who is the father of mankind. So the second person ever get knowledge of Gita is Vaivasvata Manu, father of mankind. And when did this happen? This happened 2,005,000 years ago. Keep these timelines in mind. When we see and compare this, what is the timeline when Krishna speaks Gita to Arjuna? That time looks very, very tiny. So how did this knowledge pass on? Knowledge passed on from transcendental to extraterrestrial, from extraterrestrial to terrestrial. And then Vaivasvata Manu gave this knowledge to Ikshvaku, his son. After this is the parampara, only then Krishna spoke Gita to Arjuna. And that was 5,000 years ago. We all feel 5,000 years is a long time back. But if you see the age of Gita, it is 5,000 years looks very, very small compared to when it was first spoken by Krishna. Now, I will give you some numbers. Look at it. Try to understand, but park it. You can get a deeper understanding with repeated learning, repeated reading. But I am only giving you the essence, the flavor, how to understand these numbers, how to go back in time. Lifespan of Brahma is mind-boggling. 311.404 trillion years. How does this come about? So there are some terms that are being used in Gita. First is Divya Yuga. So what is Divya Yuga? Let me give you the essence. So there are 4 yugas we know: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara, and Kali. Kali Yuga is the smallest. So we start from Kali Yuga, which is 4,32,000 years, go to Dwapara, and the way this works is it is cyclic. So Kali Yuga is the smallest, and Dwapara is twice the size in terms of timeline than Kali Yuga. So it is 8,64,000 years. Treta Yuga is 3 times, and Satya Yuga is 4 times. If you multiply the age of Kali by 4, you will get the age of Satya Yuga. This is how mathematical our creation is. So one Divya Yuga means all these put together, and that comes to 4.32 million human years. This is called Divya Yuga. So park this in your mind. Next comes Manvantara. This is the next time milestone that Krishna uses. So 71 Divya Yugas, that is 71 times these four yugas put together is one Manvantara. Now don't go into the numbers. Just remember 71 Divya Yugas is equal to one Manvantara. And 14 Manvantaras is equal to one Kalpa. And what is one Kalpa? It is 4.32 billion years. One Kalpa is 1 day of Dharma. So you know that a day has 1 day is 4.32 billion years, night equally long, 4.2 billion years. So one Kalpa, two Kalpas for one full day and night of Brahma. There are 360 days in a year, so there are 720 kalpas, and Brahma's lifespan is 100 years. So if you do the maths, it comes to 311.04 trillion years. This is fascinating mathematical data that we find to read in Gita. Let's move to the next verse. I hope you found this interesting. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarsayo viduhu. Sakale neha mahata yogo nasta parantapa. Krishna continues telling us how time is a factor. Very essential to learn that time has an impact, but it is not the cause of whatever is happening to Gita's knowledge. Time makes the imperishable, because Krishna has said Gita's knowledge is eternal, avyayam. So the imperishable knowledge exists as it is. It is just that it has become inaccessible. Let's understand this going forward. This supreme science, this is the translation, Imam Viduhu, was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession. Very important to understand. There is a parampara by which this knowledge has been handed over from ages. That is why he says, Evam parampara praptam. And the saintly kings. Now, this is a new word. Let's understand what is this. Rajarasaya understood it in that way. But in the course of time, Mahata Kalena, the succession was broken. That is why Krishna had to come and talk about it to Arjuna now. Iya yoga nasta. Therefore, the science as it is appears to be lost. O afflictor of enemies, that is Parantapa. Let's look at the verse and the translation. Before we go to the verse, I thought we must have an example. So, the Acharya, Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, they quote this example. They say that the lamp that dimmed, why did it happen? Like what Gita Krishna is saying, Yoga Nasta Parantapa. Why it is happening? Time makes it, the imperishable knowledge, inaccessible. Let's understand the statement from this example. So the master, the guru, lit a lamp, many lamps, from one flame. Then he requested his disciples to keep them burning. And the disciples agreed. After a few years, they found that the lamps were not burning properly. Now, what could be the problem? So the problem was analyzed and understood it was impure oil. So few lamps were not burning. Some lamps stopped burning because they realized that wick was not proper. You need a shell, you need the oil, you need the wick, only then the lamp can burn. People were trying to protect the shell and forget about the wick. So there were various reasons, and over a period of time, the flame weakened. Now, yes, over a period of time, the flame weakened, but it was not because of time. Time had no role to play why the flame stopped burning. It was carelessness of humans that led to the lamp not burning. This is the essence that we have to understand. When Krishna says, Sa kale neha mahata yoganasta parantapa. So parampara is maintenance. And maintenance means you will have to look after the lamp, you will have to look after the oil, you have to look after the wick. That is maintenance. That is parampara. There is no room for carelessness, and there is no point in blaming time as being responsible for destruction. Dharma does not fail. Humans fail dharma. Understand this very carefully. Time has no role to play. Time keeps moving at its own pace. But what happens is our discipline decays because of ego. That's when the lamp stops burning. With this, let's go to the verse. What is Krishna saying? He says, Evam parampara praptam. We have seen this already in the last verse. So this is the parampara that Krishna has talked about, and he has told us that this knowledge is eternal. Now, what is the uh, beauty of this knowledge? Why is this so sacrosanct? Why is this so sacred? Because this knowledge is not for analysis. This is not for debate. This is the absolute truth. It is not understanding concepts through logic. No, this is not a mind game. This is not trying to give you a logical, rational explanation, simulate your thinking. No, this knowledge is unique because it is personal application and realization. It is meant to transform the heart, not simulate the mind. That is why parampara is not a chain of Xerox machines. You cannot transfer the knowledge from 120 million years ago till today just by copying it. It is not about repeating the exact words. It's not about same intonation, how Krishna had pronounced this, using the same vocabulary, understanding the meaning of every word in the sloka. All these are important, but that is not the essence. It is the spirit of the teachings which is most important because they only will help you understand the truth, which will lead to realization, which will lead to transformation. When parampara breaks, Lord intervenes. That is why Krishna is born in this world again and again. He comes here as a human form, he comes in a form of animal, he comes in the form of fish, and what have you, all the Dashavataras that we have studied. Why does he come? Because of compassion for humanity. Now, saintly kings understood this. Gita's message was meant for them, and Krishna is using the word Rajarushi. Rajarushi Vidhu. What is that? Rajarushi means Raja, Imam, Rajasayo Vidhu. Raja and Rishi. Put together is Rajarushi. Raja is external ruler. He is the king, managing his citizens, and Rishi controls the inner world. He has knowledge. He has wisdom. When both of them are integrated in a person, that person becomes Rajarishi. So Gita was given to Rajarishi so that they could look after their citizens and teach the citizens how they should live in this world. Gita was not meant for demonic persons. Now, this knowledge, Krishna is telling Arjuna, Sa kale ne hamata yogo nasta parantapa. O subduer of enemies, but over course of time, this yoga was lost. Again, it was lost. It was not destroyed. The knowledge is as it is. It exists forever. It is timeless. But we lost access to it. That is, time makes imperishable knowledge inaccessible. So disciplic succession was lost over a period of time, and hence the access to this eternal knowledge was lost. That is what Krishna is saying in this verse. Now, how do you understand this? Day-to-day life example. What happens if you do not look after milk? You do not store it, you do not boil it, you do not keep it clean. Milk will get spoiled into curds. So this is what is happening to Gita. This is what is happening to knowledge. If you do not preserve, you do not look after, knowledge becomes curds. That's the example acharyas give to understand. The same curd can be churned and you can get butter. And if you can melt butter, you can get ghee. So the essence is knowledge exists. We only have to put an effort, energy to get the benefit of that. The same curds can be converted to butter with energy, with effort. So conversion of curds to butter is transformation. That is the essence of eternal knowledge. That is how, with effort, we can also be transformed by realization. That is what Krishna says in this verse. Let's go to the next verse. Sa evayam maya tedhya yoga prokta puratanaha bhakto sime saka cheti rahasyam hi etaduttamam. I have underlined the word uttamam. There is no better knowledge than this, O Arjuna. This is the ultimate. This is the absolute best. That is what Krishna is telling us. Krishna reveals Gita to Arjuna because he is devotee, friend, bhakta, and saka. If we have to gain the essence of Gita, we have to try and learn bit and bit by bit of what Arjuna was and how Arjuna approached, how Arjuna listened. Why did Krishna speak Gita only to Arjuna? That is the essence of learning for all of us because we want to be Arjuna. We want to be understanding how Arjuna understood Gita. And the two most important characteristics Krishna himself enumerates, he says, you should be a bhakta and you should be a saka. Let's look at the translation. The very ancient science of the relationship with Supreme. He says, Sa evayam maya sa eva ayam puratana yoga is today te adya, told by me, maya pro, to you because you are my devotee, me bhakto asi. So without devotion, there can be no knowledge. As well as my friend Sakasa iti. Arjuna was a friend of Krishna, but he was more, he was a devotee first than a friend. And his devotion was of total surrender and can therefore understand transcendental mystery, etad uttamam rahasyam of this knowledge. Only if you are a devotee, only if you are a saka, will you gain understanding of this knowledge that is being said in this verse. Let's move to the explanation. So, in this verse, Lord is giving Arjuna the reason for speaking Gita. We have understood the parampara. I used the same slide, but what is the highlight of this verse? Krishna is saying, this knowledge is not new, O Arjuna. I am not speaking Gita because you are in the battlefield. I am not speaking Gita because you are confused. I am not speaking Gita because you have surrendered. Don't think this is new knowledge. This wisdom existed before. I am only refreshing it for your reference. There is continuity. It's just that I am handing over the baton to you so that that will help you understand and figure out a solution to the problem that is bugging you. What should I do, O Krishna? What is the right duty for me to execute? Should I fight or should I not fight? If you want the answer to that, the knowledge is in front of you. He says, Yoga Prokta Puratanaha. I have spoken this knowledge millions of years ago, and I am speaking it to you now, O Arjuna, because you are my devotee. Bhaktosi me sakacheti. These two are the most important characteristics of how you can serve Krishna. So Arjuna is serving Krishna as a bhakta, as a devotee, and as a sakha, as a friend. There are five eternal rasas, and Krishna is saying, you are my friend because you are my devotee and you are my friend. So Saka is also one of the five eternal rasas to establish relationship with Krishna. This is the qualification required to gain understanding of this timeless wisdom. This is the first time in Gita, after 3 chapters, Krishna has for the first time used the word bhakta. So he's saying devotion is the only way to come to me. That is the essential learning for us. Rahasyam he etad uttamam. This knowledge will take you to lightness from darkness, from tamoguna to transcendental. You will be stepping above these 3 modes of material nature. So Srila Prabhupada says there are two kinds of people. One is divine, like Arjuna, Bhakta, and a friend. And other are demonic, who will always keep arguing till the cows come home that I don't believe in this is not logical, this is not rational. But for us, as students of Gita, the most essential message is I want to be like Arjuna. I want to adopt, I want to imbibe, I want to embed, I want to follow, I want to copy what Arjuna did. I want to be serving Krishna with devotion. I want to be a friend of Krishna. That should be the bhava in us as we study these verses and the chapters from here on. So, what is the essence of Bhaktosi Me Sakacheti? You'll be surprised that I'm spending so much of time on this because that is the essence of learning. We all are good in, we can understand Sanskrit, we can understand English, we can quote the verses, perfect. But that is not learning. If you have to learn, you have to learn that with emotions. You have to learn that with the way Arjuna approached this whole subject. I'm giving you this example to highlight this importance. A disciple once asked his guru, why don't you teach Gita to everyone? Then the guru answered, oh dear Shishya, there is rainfall everywhere, but only prepared fields yield crops. That is the essence of learning. Let's see if this video plays. This is rain, this is the field which is prepared. So if we are able to prepare ourselves like Arjuna did, like the farmer, and invested efforts to till the land, sow the seeds, and wait for the rainfall, then he got the crops. So if we can do that, then it is like saying there is knowledge everywhere, but I will be able to gain the essence because I am prepared for it. I am prepared to work for it. That is the way we have to understand essence of Bhaktosi Me Sakacheti. If I were to highlight a few reasons why Krishna chose Arjuna for Gita Pravachan. First qualification, he is a bhakta, devotee, sincere, surrendered devotee. He is a friend. Why is Saka, friendship, very important here? Is Arjuna never looked at Krishna with a bhav of saying, oh, well, he's so senior to me, so superior to me. I will not ask him any questions. No. You have to be a friend to ask whatever doubts you have. He never hesitated. That's the reason why Saka is so important. So we have to use Gita as a friend. Ask Gita questions. Approach our gurus and say, dear sir, I have a problem here. I am not able to understand. It's like splitting a thin hair. It's very difficult. I am balancing on the edge of a sword. Is this dharma? Is this adharma? If we have to get the correct answer, we have to take shelter of a guru. Krishna looked at Arjuna as an adhikari, as a qualified listener, and we will highlight this in the next verses going forward. He listened to every word very, very carefully. Jignasu, relevant inquiry. He never accepted whatever Krishna said at face value. His next question will show what is the quality of a Jignasu. And Shishya, the important point of a Shishya is you must follow the instruction. There is nothing like, I like this, so I will do it. I don't like this, I will not do it. That is not the essence of being a disciple. The surrender is there is a guru and there is a disciple. So if the guru says something, we have to execute it. That is, and there are some examples I will show you going forward as to how we can inculcate, embed this in us. So what are the learnings we can apply in our day-to-day life? Krishna reveals his glory to those who delight in that glory. If you read Gita with that sense of inquiry, with that sense of love for Krishna, it's not that we are Arjuna, we are 5,000 years back. We don't have to go back in time to enjoy the essence of Gita. We can do that sitting at home, provided we have this open mindset. I enjoy your glory, Krishna. That is the first learning. Whether you understand the verse, you understand Dharma, that's the second point. What is that we can take away? Dharma is eternal. The timelines are so vast, it defies our imagination. In science, we say that 4 billion years, that's maybe 4 billion years back, the Big Bang happened. 4 billion years in this cosmic creation is a tiny speck. We have seen what is one day of Brahma, what is the lifespan of Brahma. Most important thing, humans forget, God remembers. Everything that we do, He remembers. And we are not saying this because we like to say this. Krishna himself says this in the coming verse. Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvataha katam etadijaniyam tvam adhau proktavan iti. Now Arjuna's question. Very interesting. That's why I said it's not just about bhakta, sakha, it's also about being a jignasu. Ask questions when you don't understand. Arjuna said, the god Vivaswan is senior to you, O dear Krishna. Param Janma Vivaswataha. Param Janma means he is senior to you by birth. Aparam Bhavato Janma. You are born after him. You are almost my age. You are standing in front of me. How am I to understand Katham Eta Dvijaniyam? That in the beginning, Vam Madhav Proktavaniti, you instructed the signs to him. It is like the child telling, I taught my grandfather. Looks very difficult, isn't it? How can a child teach his grandfather? This is the doubt that Arjuna has. Let's see how this verse can be understood, how we'll go through the explanation. So, this is like, again, an example of Guru Shishya. So, a disciple asks his Guru very humbly. He says, how can Krishna claim that he taught this yoga millions of years ago? I'm not able to understand this. So then Guru said, okay, let me give you an example, then you will understand it better. He said, can you see the sun here? The Shishya said, yes, I can see the sun. So then the Guru asked, do you remember when did sun rise for the first time? The disciple said, no, I don't remember. I don't recollect. It's beyond me. The Guru smiled. Your forgetfulness, dear Shishya, does not mean the sun is young. Or if you say the sun is old, even that is not valid. What is valid is you don't know. So if you don't know, don't question. You have a limited understanding. With that unlimited knowledge, limited understanding, do not try to challenge the scriptures. You will come and you will cut a sorry figure. So with this in mind, let's look at what is the essence of this verse. So Arjuna, aparam bhavato janma. Arjuna has a question. You are my age, you are standing in front of me. Who is that you can tell me, O Krishna, that you spoke Gita to Vivaswan 120 million years ago? That's the valid question. Remember a boy telling, I taught this to my grandfather. This is where Arjuna stands. This is what is being a jignasu. Now, this question itself has two important significance. First is, as Bhagavad Gita is entering the deep philosophical discussion, this is transcendental knowledge. It's very deep. Just as it is entering in for 4.1, 4.2, Krishna has described the parampara. 4.3, he said, no, this is how this knowledge is to be received. You are a bhakta, so I am giving this to you. He listened silently. He did not interrupt. First verse is over, second verse is over, third verse is over. Now Arjuna says, oh Krishna, I am having a doubt. Can you please tell me, how do I understand? You being so young, you have talked about Gita so long ago. This is politeness, this is humility, this is humbleness. This is how a disciple has to be. And Krishna answers this question in the coming verses, and it clarifies to the whole world who is Krishna. Krishna says, yes, I understand your question. Param Janma Vivaswataha Katham etad vijaniyam. Your essential question is, how did I instruct Vivaswan? Tvam adav proktvan iti. Adav means in the beginning. So, Arjuna. Now, Acharyas give us a nice explanation. They say that it is not that Arjuna is doubtful. It's not that Arjuna has a self-doubt whether Krishna has told me the correct thing. No, that's not where he's coming from. His question is to ask so that the entire mankind gets the benefit of the answer. When he asks this question to Krishna, the answer comes from Krishna. And who is Krishna? He is the Supreme Lord. And he is telling, oh Arjuna, this is how I am able to tell you that I spoke Gita to Vivaswan. And that will come in the next verses. That's when Krishna starts describing transcendental knowledge. And what is transcendental knowledge? He tells us who is he? What is the special characteristic? He is in front of you. He was in this Bhuloka, but he was different. He was the Supreme Lord, whether he is in Goloka or whether he's in Bhuloka. He is the Supreme Lord, and he tells us in his own words going forward. Let's look at this verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bahuni me Vetitani Janmani Tavacharjuna Ani aham Veda Sarvani Natvam Veta Parantapa. So he reveals the first pearls of wisdom of transcendental knowledge. He says, oh Arjuna, I am in front of you. I am like you, but I am not like you. Very, very interesting. He says, my birth and death are not like yours. Let's understand the translation. The personality of Godhead said, many, many births, bahuni me yavititani, both you and me, Tavacha, have passed. Both of us have come into this world many, many times. I can remember all of them. Now, this is the essential difference. Tani sarvani aham veda. But you cannot, natvam veta. O subduer of the enemy, parantapa. Now, this is the difference between Atma and Paramatma. So we are not saying that this is being said by Krishna to Arjuna himself. So Krishna says, my spiritual position is not affected by this material location. Wherever I am Supreme Lord. Bahuni me viditani. Yes, we are born many, many times in this lower world. Janmani tavacha Arjuna. I have appeared as son of Devaki. You have appeared as Arjuna. You are a living entity. You are a Jivatma. What is the difference between Paramatma and Jivatma? Krishna is telling us here. He says, Tani aham Veda Sarvani. Oh Arjuna, please realize I remember past, present, and future. No material modes of nature can affect me. I remain transcendental. But what is your limitation? Your limitation is Natvam Veta Parantapa. You can't remember what happened few days back, few months back, few hours back. That is falling of a Jivatma. Why is this happening? The spiritual soul, the Atma, changes its body and hence forgets everything. The moment I am born in this body, I don't remember what I was in my last lifetime. That is how Krishna has designed this creation. There's nothing wrong with us. It is how Krishna desires that we should be. We are infallible. We, we are fallible. We are designed to be fallible, whereas he is infallible. And what is the meaning of infallible? He is in this Bhuloka also with his Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha body. His body doesn't age. No one has ever seen Krishna as old during the entire tenure of Mahabharata war. He always was young and smiling. That was because he is the Lord Supreme himself. And what is the falling of a Jivatma? He has no memory of previous lives. That is what Krishna is telling Arjuna. Please understand why I am able to talk about Gita 120 million years ago. And I am answering your question, Arjuna. This is the reason because I do not age. I have no birth. I have no death. In fact, he says in the next verse, I am unborn. Brahma Samhita tells us about various avatars of Krishna and what is the uniqueness of Krishna. He says, Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam Adhyam Purana Purusham Navayauvanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhaktau Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. What is the essence of this? He says, I worship the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, Krishna, who is the original person. Nava Yauvanam Cha. He says, he is absolute, infallible, Adyam, Achyutam, Anadim, without beginning. Although expanded into unlimited forms, he is still the same original, the oldest, and the person always appearing as a fresh youth. Nava Yauvanam Cha. That is the difference that we have to understand. Krishna is speaking to Arjuna on the battlefield, but Krishna continues to be himself the Supreme Lord. Such eternal, blissful, all knowing forms of the Lord are usually understood by the best Vedic scholars. Most of us forget the essence, do not understand what Krishna is saying. If you understand, then you will never ever have this doubt that he is the Supreme Lord. And this knowledge is always manifest to pure devotees. Why we should be a bhakta? Because of the mood of surrender to understand I am surrendering to the Supreme Lord. That is the essence of learning. That is the only way to learn what Gita wisdom is. What are the learnings that we can apply in our daily lives? Bless me, trust your infinite plan beyond my finite vision. I am fallible, you are infallible. I am finite, you are infinite. I am infinitesimal, you are infinite. So if you are the Supreme Lord, all that I have to do is trust in your plan. It may look good, it may look bad, it doesn't matter. I have supreme trust in what you are doing to me. Let's go to the next one. The transcendental knowledge flows. Now he says, Ajo api san avyayatma bhutanam ishwaropi san prakrutim svam adhisthaya sambhavami atma mayaya. So now Krishna is saying, what is more unique in his appearance? Let's look at the translation. He says, Ajo means, although I am unborn. So he is born in front of us, but he remains unborn because he is transcendental. That is what we have to understand when he says, I am the Supreme Lord. Why is the Supreme Lord? Because he says, I am Ajo Apisan Avyayatma. And my transcendental body never deteriorates. It is not our description, it is description by Krishna himself of himself. My body never deteriorates. Avyayatma. And although I am the Lord of all living entities, Bhutanam Ishwara Pistan. So we are not saying he's the Supreme Lord. He himself says, I am the Lord of all living entities. Bhutanam Ishwaro Pisam. I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Prakrutin Swamadhisthaya Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. So that is further revelation of transcendental knowledge. So what are those? He says, Ajo Apisan Avyayatma. He says, I am without birth. I appear, I manifest because I want to achieve something. And what is that? He will describe in the next verse. Ajo Pisan Avyatma. Ajo means unborn. Avyatma means imperishable. He will never get old even though he's on Buloka. His transcendental body never deteriorates. There is no birth, death cycle applicable to Krishna. Bhutanam Ishwara Pisan. I am the supreme lord of this entire universe. There is nobody who is not parcel of me. Prakrutim Swamadhisthaya. He appears in every millennium in his transcendental form. Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. I manifest through my internal potency, that is Yoga Maya. And how it happens, we will see in the next words. What is the day-to-day learning we can apply? We should ask Krishna, bless us to marvel at your miraculous presence in this world. He's present in front of us in millions of forms. It is just that we need to see him. We need to realize his presence. And that is possible only if we see his blessings. Before I go to the next verse, I must tell the story. This is from Shankaracharya Bhashya. This young gentleman is, his name is Sanandana. So Sanandana comes to Kashi looking to become the disciple of Shankaracharya Jagadguru, who is known for his Vedantic commentaries and knowledge. The moment Shankaracharya sees Sananda, he says, "This man is brilliant." And he gives him initiation and he calls him Sanandana. That was the name given by Shankaracharya to this young devotee. He gives him sannyasa. One day, the river Ganga is flowing in flood state. So the weather is very rough. It is biting cold. But for Jagadguru, cold, heat makes no difference. Whatever be the weather, they have to take bath in the river, get up at Brahma Muhurta, and go and offer prayers to the Lord. So this doesn't change, irrespective of the day, irrespective of the weather. So Shankaracharya goes, walks deep into the river to take bath on that day. So this disciple, Sanandana, is watching. Oh my God, my guru has walked so deep into the river. I hope he's safe. He is safe and he takes bath. It's biting cold, and then he shouts to Sanandana and says, "Oh, Sanandana, please get me my dry clothes." Now, the challenge is he's so deep inside the river and he is standing on the bank. It is pitch dark, biting cold, and my guru is calling out and saying, "Oh, Sanandana, get me dry clothes." So, what does Sanandana do? He takes his pair of dry clothes and says, he closes his eyes and says, "Now I will walk to my guru. I don't know whether the river is deep, whether I can walk or I cannot walk, whether I drown. I don't know." And he starts walking. And what happens? Oh, what happens? You see, the river starts creating lotus petals under his feet, and it becomes like a bridge. So he's able to walk towards his guru, hands him over the dry clothes. The guru is very happy. The people who are watching on the shore, they say, "Oh my God, this is a miracle." That's when Shankaracharya says, "Oh Sanandana, from today you are no longer Sanandana, you have become Padmapada, because you have walked on the petals of lotus flower, which were made to appear by Lord's grace in the river Ganga." This is how Krishna manifests when he saw the guru is calling the Shishya, and Shishya is determined with only one objective: I must carry dry clothes to him, come what may. Whether the river is in floods, it is in spate, it is cold, it is not cold, it is raining, not raining, it doesn't matter. I must reach my guru. If that is your determination, Krishna will appear, will manifest through Yogamaya and save you. Why did he do it? Because he has to uphold Dharma. What is Dharma here? The love of a Shishya towards his Guru. This is how, if Krishna can do this in the river, making Ganga open herself up for devotion, imagine what he can do in this universe. And he tells us in this verse. He says, "Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamiham." He's now giving us, he says, "I come again and again, whenever and wherever I have to uphold Dharma." If the river is in spade, the Guru is deep inside the river, and the Shishya has to reach him, I will make the river open itself up, make a bridge so that the devotion is honored, the bhakti is honored. This is what Krishna is telling us in this verse. Whenever and wherever, yada yada, there is a decline in religious practice. Dharmasya bhavati, dharmasya glanir bhavati. O descendant of Bharata, and the predominant rise of irreligion. Adharmasya abhyuthanam. Now, what is adharmasya in the example? the river was not behaving properly. The river became rough. The river was in floods. Now that is adharma as far as Krishna is concerned, because that river was coming in the way of executing devotion, executing bhakti. There is nothing in this world which will prevent a bhakta from going towards his guru. He says, I will make it happen. And that time I descend myself. And how do I come? He says, Tada aham atmanam srujami. How did Krishna come? When Sananda wanted to go to Shankaracharya, he came in the form of bridge of lotus petals. He says, that is how Tada aham atmanam srujami. I manifest myself. Yada yada hi dharmasya, wherever and whenever. Very important words. Now, what an emphasis. He says there is no ifs and there is no buts. Whenever and wherever I have to uphold dharma, I will be there. And how will he come? Sujami. He says, I come from my own free will. Tadatmanam sujami ham. I am not really dependent on anything and anyone. I will come when there is the need for me to uphold dharma. He is giving us further glimpse into the pearls of wisdom, of transcendental knowledge. He is telling us what is the purpose of my appearance in this world, to establish dharma. Wherever there is rise in irreligion, Glanir Bhavati Bharata, I will come here. Vrithanam Adharmasya, how I will come when true religion declines. This is the essence of transcendental knowledge. We'll be stopping here because this is the last verse of the day. But before I close, I must say there is a difference between Sanatana Dharma and any other religion. You take Christianity, you take Islam, they're all dependent on a point in time of history. Jesus appeared, Christianity was born. Prophet Muhammad came, Islam was born. The question is, like what Arjuna was asking, what was happening to the world before you came? That is an answer which they don't find easy to answer, because that's a question they find it difficult to answer. But for us in Sanatan Dharma, the answer is very clear. Lord says, I come into this world whenever there is Glanir Bhavati Bharata. And how do I come into this world? Vyuthanam Adharmasya. Why? Because I have compassion. I am here to uphold Dharma, to save these Jivatmas and take you back to Godhead. That is the end of this session. So what is the learning we can apply in our day-to-day lives? Krishna descends to delineate, demonstrate, and disseminate Dharma. Only if you were to open your eyes, listen with open mind, keep your eyes, ears fixed on what Krishna is saying, understand it carefully, read it again if you don't understand, consult the Guru if in doubt, then you will understand the essence of wisdom of Gita. Thank you very much. This, we close the session and I open dais for quiz. I seek your active participation. So we have 5 questions. Each question, each right answer gives you 50 marks. If you make a wrong answer, you get minus 50. Here we go. Let me put this on to, yes. The first question. In Bhagavad Gita 4.1, to whom did Lord Krishna say he spoke this imperishable yoga? Even before I show the options, the hands are going up. I'm very happy. The options are Vivaswan, the sun god, Vaivasvata Manu, Manu's son Ikshvaku, Arjuna. So I saw, Prabhuji, please help me. Was it Srinidhi first?
I think there's a tie, Prabhu, between Srinidhi and Saptadip. So
Okay.
maybe you can decide whom to offer this.
I will give it to Srinidhi because she joined 15 minutes early. So that is for her eagerness to be part of the show. Up to date, you will have to wait for the next question. Over to you, Srinidhi.
Prabhuji, option A, Vivaswan.
Are you sure?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Lock किया जाए.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Let's see what's the right answer. Here we go. The correct answer is A. Well done. You walk home with 50 marks. All the questions are very simple. They are from the verse. So if you listen carefully, it will be very, very easy to answer. The next question. What is the correct order of transmission of this yoga as described by Krishna? Krishna, Brahma, Narada, Ikshvaku. First option. I see Ramesha, I see Saptadeep, I see two hands going. Krishna, Manu, Ikshvaku, Vivaswan. Be careful in reading the options clearly. Krishna, Vivaswan, Manu, Ikshvaku. Krishna, Vivaswan, Ikshvaku, Manu. Krishna Mohan Prabhu also has raised his hands. Between the two, Prabhuji, Ramesh and Saptadeep, who was first?
I think Ramesh was first, but I don't know. Saptadeep had raised previous question also, so you
Correct.
again
So
your call.
Ramesh, yes. So I will keep Ramesha waiting for the next three questions. Over to you, Saptadeep.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. It's option C, Krishna, Vivaswan, Manu, Ikshvaku.
So very sure.
Yes.
Let's see what's the right answer. The correct answer is C. You're right. You walk away with 50 marks. Well done. Keep it up. Let's go to the third question. Ramesh, here is your chance. Krishna says the saintly kings received this knowledge, but in course of time it was hidden only in the Upanishads, not to be found in Vedas. Disciplic succession, unlikely cause, lost from the chain of disciplic succession. Saptadev, Ramesh, Srikant, well done. So I will give it to Ramesh because he was in the waiting mode in the last question. Over to you, Ramesh, and all others. You have two more questions to go. Over to you, Ramesh.
Hello. Last from the chain of disciple succession, D.
Sure.
I think so, yes.
Shall I lock it?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let's see. The correct answer is B. Well done, Ramesha. Keep it up. So all the three have been successful attempts. Excellent. Well done. So all of you were very alert, listening carefully. Let's go to the fourth question. And now this is the option for all the two others who raised their hands in this question. Try and make up. Which statement best reflects Krishna's declaration in 4.6? He is born like any other living entity. He is controlled by material nature. He is birthless and his body is imperishable. He appears by the force of karma. I see Saptadev, Srikant, and Krishna Mohan. Prabhuji, between Srikant and Krishna Mohan, you have any inputs?
Srikant had raised previously also, couple
Right.
of times. Maybe.
Okay, fine. So I'll give it to Srikant. Krishna Mohan Prabhu, you'll have to wait for the last question to make up. Over to you, Srikant Prabhuji. Can you tell us the answer?
I think his audio is not on.
I see.
Srikant Prabhu, we cannot hear you.
We can't hear you. Huh.
Yeah, just you can unmute. No, we can't hear you.
Or you can type your answer in the
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah, you can type it in the chat if there's an audio problem. Yes, type C.
You just typed?
But your answer has already come, Prabhu, on the screen.
Did you see that?
Everybody saw it. And that
So he
answer
also has seen it.
the answer came, I don't know whether Srikant, before he's putting in the chat or after that. I didn't notice, but the answer was
But-
there.
Okay. Anyway, the right answer is C, and Srikant gets full marks. Well done, Srikant Prabhuji. The last question. Now, this is open to Krishna Mohan Prabhu. Now, why is this not working? Let us see here. Okay. The correct answer is C. And with that, we come to the last question of the day. According to 4.7, when does the Lord manifest himself? Listen carefully. Only at the beginning of creation. Saptadip Prabhu, Ramesh Prabhu. Whenever there is decline of dharma and rise of adharma.
Dharma.
Krishna Mohan Prabhu has also raised his hands. Whenever a great devotee prays for him, at fixed intervals in every yuga, regardless of conditions. I think I saw Ramesh and Saptadeep going ahead first, but I'll give it to Krishna Mohan Prabhu because he had raised his hands in the last two questions. Over to you, Prabhuji.
Fixed intervals in every yoga.
अब वीडियो में आई ब्रो.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dana
Hare
Param.
Krishna.
Prabhuji, is the answer is B.
Sure.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Whenever there is decline of dharma and rise of adharma is the option.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Lock किया जाए. Shall we go ahead?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. The correct answer is B. Well done. So this is one of those few rounds where all the five were bang on. 100 out of 100. 5 questions, 5 right answers. Thank you very much. Very happy. With that, the quiz session is over. Now it is open to reflections. I'm conscious we are 3 minutes over time. But if one or two of you want to share, please feel free. Saptadev, over to you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Yeah, one of the key learnings is that, as Krishna said, I think it's in the second verse, that I'm revealing this transcendental knowledge to you because you are my friend and devotee. He said, you are my devotee and friend. So from that, we can learn that in order to get and completely understand this knowledge, one has to surrender himself to Krishna and with full honesty and humbly, in order to seek knowledge, we should have to be a devotee of him at first. Yes, just as you rightly said, a demoniac person or someone who is an atheist doesn't believe in it, they cannot understand it. So we have to surrender ourselves first in this. So that is one of the key learning which I have understood. And overall, and the other things that Arjuna inquired, how do you know? And Krishna revealed it that that is one of the fascinating characteristics of Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead. He remembers whatever happened, everything in all his previous birth, and we as a Jivatma, like the Paramatma, we cannot remember all these things. And I think in one of the previous session, his guest Shyamchandra Prabhu also told us that it is in one way is good for us because we as a contingent soul, because we also go through various traumatic experiences in our previous lives. So that will be a nightmare if we keep on remembering, but it doesn't affect Krishna at all. So that was very, and also in the starting verse that we have, that was also fascinating to know that millions of years ago, I think 200 something 240 million years you said ago, he first revealed this knowledge to Vivaswan, the sun god. That was
120 million
very,
years.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, that was very enlightening and it was very interesting to know that. Yeah. And the last verse is a famous verse, which you have told that in order to, when Adharma rises in every millennia, I come down and to establish Dharma. That so everybody know. Yeah. So yeah, it was a very good session. Especially I like those stories which you put in between. These are very beautiful. It helps to understand the philosophy because it's completely philosophy, and if we get some these examples, it helps us to understand a lot. Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. It was a very beautiful session. Hare Krishna. Dhanavad.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else wants to say a few words? Srinidhi, yes, over to you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam. Prabhuji, we are having a little doubt, small doubt. Can you ask?
Yes, please feel free.
Prabhuji, we didn't understand Padmapad's story with last verse, Prabhuji. What is the connection between that story and verse? That's
Okay. So, the Acharya's commentaries, Shankaracharya's Bhashya says, if adharma in the form of a river in flood state. So it looks very difficult materially. How will you cross a river when it is in floods? Right? But Krishna says, I will appear because that symbolizes adharma. That symbolizes unrighteousness. He does not want his bhakta to suffer by a rough river. And what is the dharma there? The dharma is Sanandana Prabhu wants to go to Guru and give a pair of dry clothes. He is not worried whether the river is in floods, whether I know to swim, can I reach my Guru? All those are in the background. For him, there's only one goal. I want to serve my Guru. That is devotion at its best. So whenever you want to have such devotion, if there is a river which is coming in the way of that devotion, Krishna will manifest himself through Yogamaya. He may not come in front of you, but he made the river create a bed or bridge of lotus petal flowers to execute. That is the connection. Glanir bhavati bharata adharmasya. So this is how whenever anything which is adharma, which is going to come in the way, block my devotion, block the devotion of my devotees, I am there. That is the connection.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. There is something in the chat. Okay. Someone had given an answer on that also. Okay, fine. If there are no more questions, then we will call this session to a close. Thank you all very much. I wish and pray you have a lovely remaining part of the week on Saturday and tomorrow, that is Sunday. Saptadeep, you raised your hand.
I just wanted to ask his guest Shamchandra Prabhuji, is Arjun Sakha Prabhu is also here in Vraja? I mean,